Stop talking. Not forever. Not dramatically. Just stop reacting. That's your problem. That's where your power leaks out. Through your mouth, through your expressions, through your need to immediately respond. Someone says something, and you jump. Someone disrespects you, and you fire back. Someone doubts you, and you rush to defend yourself. You think you're being strong. You think you're standing your ground. You're not. You're predictable. And predictable people are controllable. Silence changes that. Silence makes you dangerous. You have a choice. Every moment, every interaction, every confrontation, you have a choice. React or remain still. Speak or say nothing. Explain yourself, or let them sit in their confusion. That's the key, because silence isn't weakness. It's discipline, and discipline always beats emotion. Most people are addicted to reacting. They feel something, and they must express it. Anger? They explode. Hurt? They explain. Criticism? They defend. Praise? They cling to it. They are controlled, not by others, but by their own lack of restraint. That's the truth. It's not about what they said. It's about your lack of discipline. You don't need their permission. You don't need to correct every misunderstanding. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to prove your worth in every conversation. Silence says something louder than words ever could. It says, I am in control. Let's get practical. Someone criticizes you. What do you usually do? You explain. You justify. You defend your intentions. Stop. Instead, pause. Look at them. Say nothing. Let the silence stretch. Watch what happens. They start filling the gap. They begin second-guessing themselves. They reveal more than they intended. They lose control of the interaction because you didn't react. That's power. Here's another one. Someone disrespects you. Your instinct. Snap back. Raise your voice. Match their energy. Wrong move. That's emotional equality. That's you stepping down to their level. Instead, hold your composure. Say less. Slow down your movements. Look them in the eye, calm, steady, unshaken. Silence in that moment is not submission. It's dominance. Because anyone can shout. Very few can stay calm. You need to understand something important. Silence is not passive. Silence is active control. It's choosing not to waste energy. It's choosing not to give people access to your internal state. It's choosing to observe instead of react. And observation gives you an advantage. Because when you're silent, you see more. You notice tone. You notice patterns. You notice insecurity in others. You notice what's really being said beneath the words. But when you're reacting, you miss all of it. You're too busy defending yourself. Let's break a myth. People think silence means you're weak. That if you don't respond, you're losing. That's a lie. Silence forces people to reveal themselves. Think about it. When you argue back, the focus shifts to you. Your words, your tone, your reaction. But when you stay silent, the spotlight stays on them. Their behavior becomes obvious. Their insecurity becomes visible. Their aggression becomes uncomfortable. You don't need to expose people. Silence does it for you. You have a choice. You can keep reacting like everyone else. Or you can become the one person in the room who doesn't flinch. The one person who doesn't rush to speak. The one person who doesn't need to be heard to feel powerful. That's rare. And rare is respected. Now let's talk about everyday discipline. Because this isn't just about conflict. This is about how you move through life. Stop oversharing. Not everyone needs to know your plans. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Not everyone should hear your next move. Silence protects your focus. When you talk too much, you leak energy. You invite opinions. You create pressure. You turn your goals into conversations instead of actions. It's not about secrecy. It's about discipline. Stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. You made a decision? Stand on it. You changed direction? Own it. You don't need a speech. You don't need approval. You have a choice. Either you live your life, or you keep justifying it. And here's a hard truth. The more you talk, the less people listen. Why? Because constant noise loses value. But silence creates weight. When you finally speak, people pay attention. Your words carry impact. Your presence demands respect. That's the key. It's not about talking more. It's about making your words matter. Let's go deeper. Silence builds emotional control. Because every time you choose not to react, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you hold your tongue, you prove to yourself that you're in charge, not your emotions. And that confidence compounds. You stop fearing confrontation. You stop needing validation. You stop being easily triggered. You become steady, unshaken. That's real power. But understand this. Silence is uncomfortable. At first, it will feel unnatural. You'll want to jump in. You'll feel the urge to explain, defend, respond. Resist it. Sit in the discomfort. Because that's where growth happens. Discipline is built in those moments, when everything inside you says react, and you choose not to. You don't need their permission. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need the last word. You need control. And control starts with silence. So here's your challenge. Today, practice restraint. When someone interrupts you, pause. When someone criticizes you, listen, don't react. When you feel the urge to explain, say less. Not forever. Just long enough to prove to yourself that you can. Because once you master silence, everything changes. Your presence changes. Your confidence changes. Your power changes. You stop being reactive. You become intentional. You stop being controlled by others. You start controlling yourself. And that's the real game. Remember this. It's not about what they say. It's about how you respond. It's not about proving yourself. It's about mastering yourself. That's the discipline. That's the edge. That's the shift. You've learned to pause. You've learned to stay silent. You've learned to stop giving your energy away through reaction. But silence alone isn't enough. Now you need to direct that saved energy somewhere powerful. You've controlled your reactions. Now it's time to control your focus.